Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, where we are finalizing our invasion of South America, which of course means that we need to invade New Zealand. New Zealand is indeed part of South America, as I'm sure you're aware. So we're going to proceed forward here. We're just waiting on our tanks to arrive, and then we'll push in here, absolutely no problem. They can't push us out. We're going to have a pretty major supply issue though, and the question is, do we need more supplies than what we have here to push in? We'll find out here in a moment. And if we do, that's reasonably fine. But let's get our tanks in position. And yeah, there's going to be some pretty major supply issues here. Okay, so currently, there are definitely supply issues. I'm thinking, this is all one state here. I'm thinking we might pull this infantry division out to alleviate the supply issue a little bit. So we can take them and put them like somewhere out over here temporarily. That's fine for now. I want to select that army. That would be these guys, presumably. Hang on. I think it might have been... Yeah, these guys. That is correct. Okay, so they are going to be assigned down over here. So they're going to exit, and the tanks are going to take over here. We just don't have enough supplies to have all of those units there, right? So that's fine. We're going to continue to attack our way through here. With tanks, it will go a lot better, but it'll take a little bit to get pushed through. And that's okay. It is definitely a-okay. Sweden wants to join this war. We shouldn't require Sweden to join this war, though. So we're currently losing this, but we're chipping through them. There's only so much that they can do. We're also still boosting up this naval base here. It's level 4 at this point, and it's going to be a while before our next upgrade, April 15th, but that is reasonably fine. So while this is happening, we could be starting to think about our invasion of Africa. We're doing this on like a continental level, right? Although we might do it a little bit differently with Asia, because I'm thinking about the timing here and thinking about how it might go invading some of these island areas out here. That's going to take a little bit longer than some of the areas up here. So what I'm thinking right now is this is going to be this episode, Africa, ideally. And then next episode would be mainland Asia. So like this, approximately. And then the episode after that would be Island Asia. Now, technically, we could claim that this up here is mainland Asia. I don't know that we should claim that, but we could claim that technically because of the way that crossings work. But yeah, I don't think we should. So then it would be like Oceania would be the last area that we would invade. There's only a few there, and that might be a bit of a shorter episode, but that's reasonably fine. Let's check in on how we're doing over here. Lack of organization, yeah. So we need supplies over here, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in an extra naval base down here, as well as one right here. And we'll get started on all of that. Then, we need to think about Africa. So, I'm going to take this unit of Marines, and we're going to remove all of their extant orders. They're going to go out to East Sahara, although we can't actually get to it. This is impassable. Is there any way to get to it? Maybe via, like, paratroopers. I'm just checking here. Yeah, this is entirely impassable through here, and I think it remains that way the whole way through. So, just checking here. Potentially paratroopers. We don't have any paratroopers. We need to get at least one unit, so I'm going to train one template of paratroopers. So we're just going to do one unit, and we'll set the location to be, I don't know, Italy is fine. That'll be fine. So we'll see if we're able to paratroop into there, but I kind of doubt it. Okay, so with that in mind, next up, we've got these all covered, in theory. This has no divisions assigned to it. What army is this? I don't know what army this is. But there are no divisions assigned there. So I'm going to tell these Marines to make their way on up over, not invasion, front line, right up over here. That'll be fine. Then we're going to need these guys to have an order, and that order should be, like, right over here. There we go. And then that should really be enough for this area. We'll have these guys head out over this direction. This is not exactly going to be our finalized layout here. I want to have one unit in the north of Egypt here. One unit would want to be up over on the other side, which is not necessarily ideal. And then we would want to have another unit down here. Now, we're going to be changing these around pretty significantly. I want to be clear about that. So we're just going to put these guys like down here for now. And we're going to need additional forces. So we'll have to figure out where everything is located right now. Checking in down here, there's just a lack of organization, right? That said, we just got a level 1 naval base built here. And that will help out the organization. We have a level 1 naval base built here as well. So we've got more supply flow coming in here. This is now a level 5 naval base. And that enables us to attack over here again. It's not perfect, but all we need to do is dislodge them from this location. And once we do that, then it'll get a lot better for us. So this attack just needs to continue. Period. End of story. We need to allow additional supplies to flow in there. We just need to give that some time. So out over this way, we can take a quick look at what we've got going on here. So I feel like these areas are okay covered. We're going to be changing them around a bit, though. I feel like this is all one army here. I feel like this army should, in fact, not be here, but we should instead bring them down over here. Okay, so then we're going to need at least one army for this area, and where are these Marines located? Okay, they don't actually have orders. I'm not sure why they're not showing up in that regard, but whatever. Also, there is no naval base here, so they can't exit. Okay, I guess we'll have to work on that. And these Marines are going to remove all of their orders. There we go. I'm not sure if that was something up over here. It might have been. Actually, that might have been this army. Yeah, it was. Okay, so that was the Marines. Sounds good. So we want them to make their way down over here. Now, these front lines are going to have to be shifted after the war breaks out, for sure. We've got the Marina Kingdom over here that's going to have to be naval invaded, and that's reasonably fine. I'm just wondering about sea bases over here. I'm going to put one in here. Okay. So that's okay for the moment. We're going to need to justify on all of these, and we're going to need to launch this invasion, but we're going to have to change around how our forces are aligned. That is absolutely going to need to be a thing, because we're going to have to stretch these armies out somewhat. That's okay. We can definitely do that. And then there's this here, which is potentially inaccessible. We'll see what ends up happening with that. But for now, that's looking good. So I want to check in down over here. Yeah, this is probably going to be a bit of an ongoing thing. We can see that we are starting to wear down their supply status, though. And their average strength and organization is indeed dropping. So we just need to keep up the pressure here, and they will eventually fall. That seems absolutely fine. So I'm going to go through and start justifying on each of these. Ah, okay. Well, that was only 25 days. I'm going to let that one go for the moment, but we apparently, because I restarted the game, lost our instant justifications. Okay, so that was instant war goal, I believe? Yes, okay. So that sounds good. We're going to hop in here, and we're going to justify this. We're just getting instant war goals for the sake of time. So that will be absolutely fine. We're going to get a war goal on every single one of these nations. Although we're going to need to tick forward a little bit here. Although not too much, now that I think about it. We shouldn't tick forward right now that I think about it. Because these war goals will expire after a month. So that's okay. We want to justify a war goal on Hausaland. And up over here as well. There's a number of these that we're going to have to justify on, right? And this would take quite a while if we weren't having the instant war goals. We don't need to justify on them. We already did. Okay. Did we do or die? No, we did not. In reality, we should probably be declaring on these as well. So we'll just hop in over here for Darfur, and then Egypt. Yeah, we'll conquer Crete, absolutely. And there's a lot of little areas out over here, right? But I want to hop back over this way quick. East Sahara, we can cancel our justification on, and then we can just re-justify it. It still costs a political power. It just goes instantly, right? So we're going to declare that war. Then we'll hop down over here and we'll declare this war. And then this one. And then this one. Cool. So there are, of course, a lot of wars being declared here. And we want to come down this direction and declare. Then here. Let's see, we already declared there. That's fine. Over in Sokoto, we absolutely want to declare on them. That looks good. And then up here in Bornu, we apparently need to justify. That's fine. We can do that. And we'll declare on them. And then we'll declare on these lads as well. Looks good. And on Wood Dye. And Darfur. There we go. And on Egypt. Okay, now we need to make our way through these little nations over here. We need to justify on Tigray. That's fine. Justify and declare. Did we declare on Tigray? I don't think we did. No, we didn't. Okay, so we'll do Shua next. And declare here. And Wello as well. I guess the shortcut key for that is enter, so we can definitely do that. So over this way, we want to... the call to arms there would be fine. War Sengali is in our control. Yeah, that's all of the territory up over here. Okay. Next, we're going to come down to this little area. We'll justify here. And we will, of course, declare war. And then we've got Congo as well. We'll need to do the same thing. Excellent. And then this Great Lakes region over here, which is going to be a little bit more tedious, but that's fine. We'll declare on all of these. And once we have all of these in the same war, we'll be able to set up our troops better. We might lose a little bit of terrain early on in this because our troops are not ideal in their positioning, but that's okay. That is absolutely fine. We'll have no problem with this whatsoever in my estimation. So we're just going to justify here and declare. And justify here and declare. So that's the Great Lakes region declared on. Excellent. And we'll just move down over here next. So we'll do orange and we'll justify and declare. There we go. And justify and declare here. Yes, this is fine. And then the Federation of Turan. And finally Zulu. So that is all of mainland Africa at war with us that we don't control. In theory. We still need to get the Marina Kingdom, and this is part of the Marina Kingdom out here. So that looks good. We'll justify. We're not going to go after them instantly, but we are going to declare that war as well. Let's immediately move our navy out over here. We no longer need to be in the Caribbean. And we'll just head here. Next, we need to do some work on our front lines. So obviously we don't have forces here right now, right? We cannot extend this front line? Maybe we need to tick it. Perhaps. Okay. So they all joined the Australian Syndicate. That sounds good. So what we need to do now is we need to extend this front line all the way around, right? And then we'll tell them to offensive line something like that. And that's this region taken care of. So they're going to do that, assuming that they have enough troops to do it. And that's okay. Now, this up here is potentially problematic. I'm going to take half of these tanks, and I'm going to tell them to instead frontline up over here. They're going to offensive line down to about here. And they can get going on that. Well, these guys are going to offensive line up to here. Now, they could leak out this direction. We'll see if that ends up happening. It would be reasonably fine if they did. So, then we need to come down over here and grab this army, which is still on the way. And we need to change our front line here to be all the way around. And our offensive line to simply be something like this. That would be reasonably fine. Then we need to deal with this area up here, right? And that means that this army is going to be spread pretty thin, which is probably fine. But we just need to pull the front line all the way over like this. And their goal is going to be to offensive line up about like that for now. So they can get started on that. Now we need these guys, and their front line is going to extend over to here. There we go. And these are going to have a slightly shorter front line to about there. Although they are going to have their front line be extended out over this way, for sure. Okay, and then the front line up here can be extended like so. With these guys being offensive lining over to probably around here or so. That'll be fine, and they can execute that. And then these guys would be offensive lining to around here or so. And they can execute that. Excellent. These guys would be looking to push up somewhere up over this direction. This is, of course, the furthest they can push. So it would be something along the lines of that. They can get going on that one. This is definitely going to be a little bit messy, but that is fine. We're going to have this army be responsible for offensive lining all the way down to, like, here. That'll cause a capitulation, for sure, from Egypt. And then these guys, they are going to offensive line simply over to, like, here. They're infantry, so that'll be reasonably fine. Okay, so that should be Africa pretty under control, with the possible exception of this area over here. Okay, I want to get this front line extended out over here, but we're going to retract it a little bit on this side to there. They're going to offensive line about like that, and they can get started on that. These lads are going to offensive line just like that. Get in there. Okay. So that is theoretically Africa under control, with the exception of Marina Kingdom. Theoretically. In actuality, we don't have a lot of troops there, right? But we'll get going on this invasion of Africa. And it should be... Okay, yep. Touggourt has capitulated. Perfect. That was quick. And of course, we've got some areas down here. Yep, we're going to see a number of capitulations. And people joining various factions. That is all absolutely expected. Okay. Netherlands declared war. Honduras is calling people into the war. Okay. Sure. That's reasonably fine. I guess it's okay. So we're going to have some areas where we're not entirely in position, right? Especially down here, and things are going to be a little awkward. But there's a lot of capitulations happening, and that is looking reasonably fine. I want to take a quick peek on what's going on over here. Okay, we're still sieging Wellington, and that's going to take a little while, but we're definitely... These guys never joined the faction. Okay, well, sure. We're just going to take all their stuff. There we go. So we've got these guys who are freed up right now. I'm going to take them down over here, and we're going to tell them to get involved in this offensive line. That'll be reasonably fine. And then we've got this unit here, and what do they want to do? To be honest, I'm not sure how necessary any action for them is. I think for the moment, things are reasonably under control, but we could send them down over here as well and just be like, head on down. We'll see what happens. Wadai has capitulated, as has Karagwe, but we can just select everything in Wadai and confirm and exit. Cool. So we're getting a lot of this under control, right? Egypt has joined the Australian Syndicate. That is expected. Burundi has capitulated. That is also fairly expected. And we're going to continue to press in to these locations. Egypt is called Buganda. I'm pretty sure we were already fighting Buganda, but maybe I forgot them. If so, that was not intentional. No, we were definitely already fighting them. Okay, Congo has capitulated. Fantastic. That means that this army is freed up. And I kind of want to send them to go frontline over here. That'll be fine for now. Shua has capitulated. all looking good there. This area is getting under control. Egypt is called Rwanda. Again, Rwanda was already in the war, so I'm not sure what they're doing there exactly. But we're just going to push straight on through here. Yeah, this is looking fine. There's a lot of capitulations happening, of course. Oh, look at this. This actually fell. I'm not sure how we got it, but I guess we didn't need paratroopers. I like it. That is a good thing. So, the question is, why aren't we succeeding in pushing in over here? Well, in part, we don't have a lot of forces in place yet. That is absolutely understood. So we're going to see Rwanda capitulating very, very soon here. Tigray has capitulated. Yeah, this is all collapsing over here. Egypt has capitulated. And this is all fine. Gosham has capitulated. No problems. Yes, I do know that this is going on. We have forces on the way. They'll be arriving here shortly. So that is looking good. We would like these guys to finish up what they're doing, though. Just come on in here. Get Rwanda out of the fight. So in we go. That looks good. Can we attack over here? Yes, but not successfully for the moment. What if we bring these guys in? Even that's an unsuccessful attack. Remarkable. Okay. That's absolutely fine. No problem whatsoever here. Rwanda has capitulated, as expected. And at this point, we just need to take a couple more locations. Not many of them, to be honest. These nukes mean that Gulu is going to fall very, very soon. And we are successfully attacking into Sokoto now. Interesting. Hejaz is in this. I didn't realize that. Okay, in that case, we could definitely send a unit over there. And it should be... I guess an infantry division will be fine. We're going to tell them to offensive line straight on down over here. Okay, looks good. Let's check in New Zealand. How are we doing over here? Oh, we are definitely making progress on this. Look at their organization levels. Their organization levels are dropping. We are almost successfully pushing them out here. Almost. Orange has capitulated. Perfect. So that, of course, means more African gains in the south this time. So that is looking very, very solid. In we go. Buganda has capitulated. That means just Banyoro remains here. And actually, I think Banyoro doesn't exist. Okay, so that looks good. Now we've got some forces freed up here, but I don't feel like they're needed anywhere. Zulu has capitulated at this moment, and we're still working on pushing in Sokoto over here. But yeah, this looks phenomenal at this point. So we can go into faction mode here. Marina Kingdom, of course, does need to get dealt with, and I kind of want to have these guys forget about their current orders and just start a naval invasion of Marina Kingdom. So come on out over here, and these guys can forget about their orders as well, and start a naval invasion from the same location onto this island. They can both execute that as soon as they're ready, but this one actually isn't going to go because we don't have naval control up here. That's fine. Okay, Pretoria has fallen. The Federation of Ajuran, or rather of Turan, has capitulated. Looks good. So this is the only remaining area at this time. I want to pull a force up over here. So who do we want to pull here? Probably one of these tank divisions. We're going to tell them, and apparently they had a unit loss. Interesting. We're going to have them come on up over here and tell them to offensive line, just like through Sokoto. Okay, so they're going to make their way over there. That's fine. Our Marines are withdrawing from this area, and that is expected. Cool. So let's check in on the holdout down here in Wellington. We are absolutely winning these attacks at this point. We have worn them down a lot. So we can look at their organization is 26%, and their organization here is 50%. They're struggling here. They are not going to be able to hold this forever. And that's okay. It's going to be much easier for us to push forward once we have taken Wellington, because we'll no longer be attacking across this water. So that looks good. It is, however, time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to be wrapping up our conquest of Africa. We've only got a little bit left to go there. And hopefully, New Zealand will fall fairly soon, but we're not waiting on it. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kintogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.